because education is so incredibly important, and it made the difference in my life. It is the great divide in our country. Anybody who gets a good education can write their own ticket. It doesn't matter what their ethnicity is or what their background is. And we have to start emphasizing that concept again, the can-do attitude that really helped America to propel itself to the pinnacle so fast. She would always say, "Do you have a brain?" And if the answer was yes, then you could have thought your way out of it. And you know what? I ask that same question of us today in America. Do we have a brain? Do we have the ability to think logically to solve the multiple problems that we have? I mean, don't you find it interesting today how the government tries to insert itself into everything? They want to tell you how to take care of your children, what you should feed them, how you should discipline them, everything about them. You know what? I would be happy to accept the advice of the government if they were doing everything perfectly. But it seems they can't even run their own house. How are they going to run your house? You know, this is a problem. I began to notice something they all seem to have in common, that vision and that willingness to work hard. And I began to understand that the person who has the most to do with what happens to you in life is you. It's not somebody else. It's not the environment. And at that point, I stopped listening to the naysayers and the people saying the system is stacked against you and these people are against you. I didn't have time for them. I was going to use that time instead to look at all the incredible opportunities that existed for a young man in inner city Detroit. And there were a lot of things, but you had to go out and do them. They didn't just fall into your lap. Once again, we need to be looking at ways that we educate our populace. We look at all the failed schools in some of our inner cities. And yet, in the same inner cities, you see private schools and charter schools and home schools where people are doing great and high graduation rates and college matriculation rates. So why in the world aren't we trying to get everybody involved in the things that work and get rid of the things that don't work? You know, it was interesting that when Alexis de Tocqueville came to America to study our nation, because the Europeans were so fascinated as to why we were doing so well, he had this big 2-volume analysis. At the end, he concluded that America is great because America is good. And if America ever ceases to be good, she will cease to be great. And he was right on target, because as we begin to throw away all of our values and all of our principles, and we forget who we are, we will go from being great to being nothing. And we have to fight that.